Hello, everybody. Happy virtual book launch. Hey! So first of all, I want to be able to say that I know, like, oh my gosh, virtual, you guys. I've been in a thing for the last couple of days in going, I cannot believe that today my beautiful book launches globally and I am here in my office, not being able to visit it. So I know that everyone's so super busy and has so much stuff going on, but I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Hi, Beth. How are you? Hi, Camry. Hi, Kel. Hi, Karen. Hi, Helen. So I have both Instagram and Facebook going at the moment. Initially, we were going to bring different people on the screen, but we can't do that and go Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So instead, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do both and I'll be able to talk to you in there. Hi, Shari. Hi, Bettina. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Donna. This is so nice. And you guys, I know everyone's feeling all the feels at the moment. And I was telling the members of my mastermind this morning and going, you know what? Like, I feel everything concurrently. And I know a lot of people are feeling concurrent feelings right now where I'm so happy and so grateful, but so sad and so mad at the same time. Because I'm going, I really was looking forward to walking through Times Square, going to Barnes and Noble and seeing my book. But the part I'm happy about is my book is having a better time than most of us. She's gone here, there, and everywhere. And so I've got a couple of competitions throughout right now. So we'll be live for about the next, I don't know, however long the questions run out for when I get to question time. But what you can do is you can go to tinatower.com/party. So tinatower.com/party, fill in your details there. So it's just your first name and your email address. And I'll be drawing out prizes as we go as well. So you'll be able to go in the draw to win a one-on-one session with me, a signed copy of the book, a swag pack. So it'll be nice and fun. So tinatower.com/party if you want to be able to do that. And if you take a photo as well, I would be so grateful. So if you're watching right now and you want to be able to take a photo going, it's Tina's book launch party, I would be so grateful. If you have the book already, if you can selfie with the book, I just want to see it with you. Because one of the best parts about writing a book is actually then going and seeing it in the world, like meeting you who are reading it and being able to chat with you and do all of that. And lockdown life, it sucks. There's no getting around it. I love the balloons. Thank you. Hi, Nick. Thank you so much. Thank you, Belinda. There's the link there, tinatower.com/party. Thank you, my beautiful assistant, Jara. Hello, Joe. Happy American launch. So for the Australian and New Zealanders, we have had $1 Million Micro Business since 1st of July, and it's out today globally, everywhere else. So it's I want to thank my community and my customers as well, because one of the things that happens when you write a book is, well, there's so many different things that you don't realize. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the book writing process, publishing versus self-publishing, what we did, how we did it, all of that sort of thing. So feel free to pop them in the comments if you've got those. But one of the things was we released in Australia and New Zealand first because they like to test it before you kind of get the green light to release in the US. And with my first book, we didn't get there. We got on Amazon, but we didn't get in any of the major stuff. So this time I really, really wanted to be able to get that US release. And it was something that we were working towards. And it went so well. In July, it was the top Australian title in nonfiction. And so that's something I'm obviously so grateful for, because it's literally every individual book purchase. Like every number represents one person that's going, you know what? I want to be able to learn from that. I want to be able to do it. And one of my biggest goals with this book was to make something super tangible. And so I'm a massive book lover. You can probably tell if you can see my bookshelf here. I I am a big fan of books, and I take them very seriously. But what really ticks me off is when you read a book and you're like, okay, they had like one idea and just said it 50 different ways over and over again. And you kind of like, a lot of it is fleshed out fluff. I didn't want that. I wanted a book that you were able to grab and go, you know what? At the end of this, I can actually legitimately create my own online course. So I want you to let me know in the comments, because I want to see if you've read it and what your course idea is. So if you already have an online course, let me know who you serve. If you don't have an online course yet, let me know what your idea is so I can see. Sylvia says she's flown through the book. Thanks, Sylvia. Bryony, love the blues. So I'll plug Bryony's book too. You guys, hang on one hot minute. So my beautiful client, Bryony, her book is also launching right now. Life is tough, and so are you. See, books, they're the best. We can be book buddies, Bryony. Hey! I'll send you some balloons as well. It's a very exciting moment. Anna, hello. So Anna owns a small bookstore in Cronulla in South Sydney. So thank you so much for all your support in there as well. Thank you, Janine. Okay, so a couple of people that I do want to thank, if you so shall allow me the indulgence for my Oscar speech for just a moment. But while I'm doing that, I was thinking like today is a massive day because it's a US book launch. But then I got sent a screenshot going, never mind the book launch, you've made it. So I have gift stickers on Instagram so that people can use them. Mainly I use them when they're like, hey, and they're doing all different things and pointing. And Simone Biles, like the greatest gymnast, Olympic gold medalist in the world, today used my gift stickers. And I was like, that's me on her story. Anyway. And now I feel like I've made it. Never mind the book launch. Simone Biles posted it. So that was very exciting. Oh, yay. Bridget bought her book this week. Thanks, Bridget. Nick, it's a book fest. Okay, yes, they do take a long time, the books to come through. Sylvia's building a parenting membership site as we speak. I love that. Taking massive action is like my favorite thing. Yes, that's exactly right, Nick. Like, you've made it now. The random things that happen to us, hey? So inside the book, we've got success stories as well. So I wanted the book to be super practical, but also inspirational. And one of the best things about running online courses and building memberships and course platforms is the rules kind of go out the window, in that there's no, you must do this. This is the only way to build an online business. Like, if anyone ever says that to you, like, run, because it's not true. And it's both one of the positives and one of the negatives, because there's kind of no blueprint to go, if you do these exact steps, it will definitely be successful. You can pick and choose what parts you want to do and how you want to do it. And then why I chose the success stories that I have in there is everyone does it slightly differently, and everyone is a different type of person. And I did that on purpose because I know that for me, when I started in online business, I would look at some people and go, oh, like, do I want that for my future? Like, I don't know if that looks that great, you know, is it all what it's meant to be? And then other people, I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up for that life. I'll take that one. Thank you very much. So I wanted to give you a lot of different ways to do it. And so we have Tracy Harris in there, who owns Mums with Hustle and is absolutely fabulous. We have James Wedmore, which, if you're in online courses, you know Mr. Wedmore. And he does it quite differently as well and has been in a long time. So that's ebbed and flowed. Then we have Denise Duffield Thomas, who runs Money Bootcamp. And she's also quite an online course veteran, but works around 10 to 15 hours a week, which, you know, I wish. That's not the reality for me, but I'm working on it. We're working on it, right? And then we have Casey Morris, who is in the US and owns the CEO Teacher, and has built a multi-million-dollar business by helping teachers to sell their resources. And then my beautiful good friend Clint Salter, who owns Dance Studio Owners Association and has built a whole membership throughout the world for dance studio owners. So a really diverse group of people doing lots and lots of different things. So from those success stories, you're able to see, you know what, this is something that I can resonate with, and this is something that I can really get on board with in there as well. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle said, love reading each of those stories. I love it. Oh, Debbie, thanks. Loving every page. Love it. Thank you. See, this is why book launches are so important for my ego. No, not just me, but I will be like completely honest with you and going, book writing is super lonely. So as a course creator, you create something, you put it out into market pretty quickly. So you're getting that feedback. You're getting to know, did the audience like it? Is it resonating? Is it good? Is it not good? Like, how's it going? Whereas a book writing, it's such a long process and it happens ages ago. Like, I finished this book nearly a year ago now. And so it takes a really long time to go, did I do the right thing? Did I do enough? Like, is it getting good? Are people going to like it? So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so, so, so much. Christy says, I adore Clint. Me too. You are not alone with that. Amazing people, amazing book. Yes, thank you. Joy says she's been giving away $1 Million Micro Business to all the amazing women. You're amazing, Joe. Joe is in New Zealand, and tomorrow morning I'm going to be live on New Zealand Morning TV. So that's going to be exciting. I'll be up at 5:30 a.m. to do that. So shame about the face and what's going to happen in there. But yeah, so I want to say thank you to the success story people. I also want to say thank you to my team. So we've got Jara, who is in the comment section at the moment, helping anyone out with that link, which if you've joined late, go to tinatower.com/party and you can register. And then in about 5 minutes, we'll draw the first prize of that in there as well. So Jara is just amazing in helping me through. And I really do think every business owner needs an assistant because there are so many things to do and so many different moving parts that having an extra pair of hands and an extra set of eyes and someone to really emotionally support you as well is so nice. I mean, even on days like today, like I'm going, gosh, you feel so lonely and isolation. Like we're going into, I think, week 8 of lockdown here now. And it's so nice to feel like you've got a team behind you and people on board with there as well. Jane says the face looks great. Is that because I'm more fancy with my lipstick? So for people that are my clients that are on here as well, it's a rare occasion that I put lipstick on. So this is like super special. Yes, everyone needs a Jara in their life, Tammy. I totally agree. So I want to thank them. I want to thank my family. I want to thank Wiley, who published the book for me. Scott, who is my PR guy in Australia. So in Australia, you will have seen so many different things coming out. That is because of my PR guy. He's amazing. And that's the thing too, when you're going to promote a book, it's not easy to get it out everywhere. And we had really high goals for the book, and we wanted to have obviously big reach. Like my very small goal for $1 Million Micro Business is for it to be the next 4-hour work week and go here, there, and everywhere and kind of be around for the next 10 years. So, small goals, but it involves a lot of help and a lot of exposure, and that is really hard to get by yourself. So having professionals that can help you do that is so invaluable. So I've got Scott here, and then I've got Katie, Megan, Jillian in the US as well. So lots of people being able to really jump on board and be able to help with that as well. And then the final thing that I want to thank is my Empire Builders community. So I run a mastermind called Her Empire Builder, which is literally, sometimes I'll have friends say to me, like, I live in such a bubble. They're like, Tina, you are in such a bubble world. Like, you're so far removed from reality, because literally I spend all my days with super high achieving, successful, ambitious women. And so I love it. It's nice in here in my bubble. But it does mean that, I am surrounded by women who are so supportive and so kind and so fabulous. And I do believe that wealthy women change the world. And one of my biggest goals is by 2025 to have 100 women that are making $1 million a year. And so I'm doing everything I can to try and, build and experiment through online business and then share all of that with my community so that they can start implementing the things and test and measure what's working for them and their life and being able to do that. And it was so like no surprise at all when my book launched that they shared it far and wide, and that made such a difference to its results. So everybody that's in her Empire Builder, thank you so much. Jen, thank you. Jen actually, like, here's a little inside story. So Jen, who's just said that, gifted me these beautiful earrings, which are my absolute favorites. So thank you, Jen. Yes, Empire Builders is amazing. Thank you, Jane. Yes, and Carla, thank you. Svet says, I love being in your bubble. It's nice in here, right? Same with Rach. Hi, Rach. Yeah, the bubble is the bomb. Okay, now I would like to answer any of your questions. So if you've got any questions about building an online course, about the book writing process, if you're looking at writing your own book or anything there, let me know in the comments and I will get straight into that so that I can answer any questions that you've got there. So you can register if you want to go into the competition. You can go, Debbie, it's tinatower.com/party. So if you go that, we will draw that shortly for the first one. So we're going to give a couple of prizes throughout, which will be a one-on-one with me, a book pack that's signed, and a nice swag pack in there too, because everyone loves some swag, which is so fun. So let me know if you've got any questions in there. And also, if you have purchased the book, I would just be like giddy with happiness if you can do a photo with it like that and send it to me, because that's what I'm really missing. Being stuck in lockdown is being able to see you with the book and see it in people's hands and where it's traveled throughout the world. So if you can do that, I would be oh so grateful. And don't forget, there's a digital workbook as well. So as you're working through the book, the goal is to be really super practical. So like, for example, with this chapter where we've got nail your first offer and program, there's worksheets to go with that so that you can brainstorm, so that you can have those questions. I know for some people, like for me, I get my books and I write all over them. I put sticky notes in them. Like I go to town on my books, but some people don't like to write in their books. They're like, no, I don't want to ruin it. So if you don't want to use it like a workbook, just go to milliondollarmicrobusiness.com and get your digital workbook. It's all free. It complements the book exactly. You can have it to work throughout as you go through there in there as well. Okay, Joe says, best quote ever, wealthy women can change the world. Yeah, we can. Okay, question from Beth here. Hi, Jill. Jill, I met at the Kajabi conference back when we could travel 1,000,000 years ago. I can't wait to be back there and see you in person, gorgeous Jill. I hope you've got your online course up and running now. Okay, question from Beth. Did someone approach you to write a book or did you approach them? I approached them. So what happened when I went to write my first book, which is called One Life, I went to a publisher and then we went through all of the different things that had to be done. And I ultimately decided to self-publish. So I didn't like all the restrictions with a publisher. I didn't like giving up any control. Hello, any other control freaks in the house? So I chose to self-publish and I actually loved the journey. I did a hybrid publishing. So I had a book coordinator and she looked after getting it out on Audible, organizing the printing, the editors, the cover design, all of that sort of thing. And then I had to handle the distribution and promotion. This time though, I decided to go for a publisher because I wanted far reach. And what publishers have over self-publishing is distribution channels. Like that is really the big thing. When you're looking at getting your book out there, it's really hard as a self-published author for people to take you seriously. It's just the level of credibility is less. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But, you know, getting over that hurdle for a publishing deal lets people go, okay, well, they've had to submit something. They've had to do that. So we'll have them in. So then I went back to the publisher, kind of tail between my legs and went, hey, so this time I do want to try publishing. Will you still take my book? And so I had to do the submission for it and I had to put that together and then they had to review it and see whether they wanted to accept that or not. So they did in about... So to give you an idea of the process, that was in like start of 2020. So just before the pandemic hit was when I pitched the book. Good timing, right? So we pitched in about January of 2020. And it was all part of the plan of last year in pivoting our business and going really strong down the Empire Builders route and that $1 million micro business concept in there as well. So I did that. And then, yeah, they said yes. So a lot of the time, when people see things and they think, I have had so many comments on, you're really lucky with the opportunities that you've got, and that someone's picked your book up, and that you've got all this publicity and doing all of those sorts of things. And yes, I will say I am completely lucky. But at the same time, I go for it. Like, I send so many emails, I send so many pictures. There's kind of nothing that is coincidental. And so don't look at other people that are doing things and go, oh my gosh, like they just get all the opportunities. Look at them go. I guarantee you behind the scenes, they're pitching for it. They're asking for it. So ask for what you want as well is one of my biggest tips there. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Michelle's posted on Instagram with the book. Thank you so much. And you've got the digital book. Hello, Alice. Hello. Nice. Jen says she's got her special pretty highlighters for the book. Kelly's on here too. Kelly Irving is a book coordinator and helps people write their own books as well. So look her up if you're looking to write your own book and need a book coach to get through, because it is a hard road as well. Tammy says, I need some of those earrings. Aren't they gorgeous? Thank you, Jen. Yes, Dale says, yes, control here. Okay, so Sherry says, love the book up to chapter 6. Good work. How did you come up with your vision on the courses that you've created? Great question. So I have always been pretty vision orientated, you could say. So what my vision's always pretty much been the same. I've been in business for 17 years and I've always had impact goals, has been how I've operated. And for me, a lot of it has come out of, so I've kind of niched down. So the book is not niched at all. It's pretty much if anybody wants to be able to run an online business, can pick it up, can go with it. But then who I work with in my courses is very niche. So I work with women who are building courses and memberships through Kajabi and using personal brand to be able to do that. So it's pretty specific. And the reason that I did that was because they're the people I want to surround myself with every day. Like the women that I get in my community are awesome women that I just naturally want to be around. Like yes, I am their mentor and coach them, but we're also friends. And so I really like that level of relationship. I also know, like I said before, wealthy women change the world. So if you look at a lot of, and I'm stereotyping here, but men generally look after themselves in there as well. Whereas women will, lend it, spend it, give it away, and it comes right back to you. And so when women become wealthy, they put it into their local communities, they hire more women, they make more equitable workplaces. There's a lot of things that change when women acquire wealth. And so I really wanted to be part of that and to help that. And what I saw was a lot of women that I worked with stopped at a certain level. So they got it around 250,000 a year. And then they put on those brakes there and go, you know what? I don't think that I want to take the business any further because I don't want to lose my lifestyle. Because a lot of the examples of what we see of success are people that are hustling and grinding and working all the time. And you see that and you go, actually, no, thank you. I don't think I will take that life. Thanks. You can keep that. I'll keep my life and keep this level of income, because it's kind of like if you get to 250,000 and you want to build $1 million business and you're working, a normal work week, you go, well, I want 4 times the revenue, but I can't do 4 times the work. How is that going to work? And so I'm massive on systems, massive on processes, massive on time management, all of the automations that we can do, how we can maximize the software that we already have. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was be able to share that with as many people as possible to go, hey, there is a way that we can build these epic kick-ass businesses and still live great lives. Like it's not just a theory, it's actually possible. So that's how I came up with my vision. Thank you for that question. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can do the draw for who our first winner is here. Now this is something that we haven't done before, because it's our first time doing a virtual book launch here. So I'm going to what am I going to do here? How am I going to get Instagram? Okay, I'm going to flick it on Instagram. Bear with me here, people. This is a little clunky, but this virtual live. Okay, let me flick it around here so we can see. All right, we've got a different angle. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Let's have a look at that. How are we looking here? All right, let me see. This feels so amateur hour, you guys. Oh my gosh, the things we do. All right, let me see if I can share a screen here. Yes, let's get the window. All right, let's draw that first one over here. So we've got our first winner is Catherine. Catherine, you are our first winner there. Congratulations, Catherine. All right, we're going to run another one in about 10 minutes. So you can keep going into that. So Catherine, you have won. Michelle says I'm watching on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, this is how you go, you guys. This is like super classy. So this is how you go live on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time, is with a tripod. Like, why haven't they made that easier? Or does anybody know an easier way for that? Goodness gracious. So go to tinatower.com/party, and then you can register for the next one in there as well. Now, I saw a question pop up here. Let me have a look at this. So Camry's asked, how do you narrow down your ideas for what content you provide in your course? Is less more? Great question, Camry. Such a great question. So what I find a lot of people make the mistake in doing is put so much content into their course, because what we do is we naturally want to give as much value as possible, right? So we go, okay, let's take everything that we have ever learned and put it into this course. And so you may start, my recommendation, especially in the book, is to go start with something simple, start with something easy. So start with a 6 or an 8 week program that you can sell, that you're already known for. Like, just get those runs on the board and get started, and then grow it from there. So what a lot of people would do is go, all right, well, I'll start with 6 weeks. Let me brainstorm everything that will go into that 6 week program. And you have this list that is like massive. And so then people don't get started because they look at the list and they're like, whoa, that is big. That's a bit overwhelming for me to get to. So I'm going to get to that later. So one, it's overwhelming for you. Now, if you cross that hurdle and then you get people into it, what happens is people see it, they open up the course and they go, holy guacamole, that's a lot of things. Am I going to be able to do that? I'll do it when I've got time. And so one of the best things that you can do is get completion. Completion is the number one goal. And so for that, what you've got to be able to do is be able to encourage people to complete, because you're selling essentially a transformation promise. So a course is just solving someone's problem, is going, I can get you from here to here in the quickest, simplest, easiest way. So there's no fluff in online learning like there used to be, because back in education, like a 40-minute thing was filled with so much fluff. No fluff now. If you can do it in 8 minutes, that is so much more valuable than 40, because people's time is the most valuable resource. So you want to give as much as you can in a short amount of time. But what you want to do is actually give the minimum to achieve the result. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but you don't want to give all of these extra things that are going to take people off the path and confuse them. And that is, like, in my membership, that is my biggest problem, is being able to go, okay, I want to give you everything, because it's a high-end mastermind. So I want to give everything there. But the biggest hurdle that we come up against is overwhelming our clients, is them being able to go, okay, what am I going to have to do now? What is the next most important thing? So if you're starting with courses, go in a really linear fashion and cut everything unnecessary out except what can give them that result. So Camry, for you, like, I know you're in styling. I can see by your name there. So for you, you want to go, what is that one transformation promise? What are you going to get from point A to point B, and how can you get them there as quickly and easily as possible? So thank you for that question. Let me know if you've got any other questions? Dale says, oops, Guy here with your book. I love you, Dale. Thanks. The book is all yours. The short courses is all yours. My high-end mastermind is not. That's for the ladies, but thank you. I appreciate you. Svet says, love the spin wheel. Thanks, Svet. It's a little clunky to be able to do in a virtual sense like this. Debbie, you are so welcome. All right, pop your questions in the box. So many people, this is the thing, like my DMs are filled with people's questions from reading the book and asking them, but you've got to be brave enough to ask in a public forum because I'll answer them for you here as well, which is so nice. You are welcome. All right, so any other questions that we have coming in there? Oh, Brianna says I missed her question. Sorry, Brianna. Okay, what have we got here? Oh, how do I approach the publishers when you want to get published? Okay, so you want to find someone who's published a book and asked for an intro. You can always go cold, but what I find is this world is a small world that we live in. So usually when you go, okay, I want to find this person, I want to get connected to this person, what you can do is go, who is everybody that I know that could possibly leapfrog into the connection with that person? This is how I got the success stories in my book as well, is going, okay, who do I know that knows that person? Because if you just reach out cold, it's really, really hard to get through the gatekeepers, both with publishers, with people you want to interview, with all sorts of things. Hi, Claire. And so what I would suggest is going, pick the publisher that you want to go with, or if it's multiple publishers, go to everybody that you know who has published a book and say, hey, I'm interested in publishing a book. Is there any advice you can share, or are you able to introduce me to your publisher? Because if they then send an email to their publisher saying, hey, here's this superstar I want to introduce you to, you're like 90% of the way in. It is so different than filling out an inquiry form on a website. So always go the personal connection wherever you possibly can. And sometimes I'll look at someone and go, there's no personal connection there, but it's amazing how when you tell people what you're looking for, people will come out and help you. So if you go, I don't know anyone who's published a book or anyone that's kind of in that circle, I mean, you do, you know me, but anything that's in that circle, put it out publicly. So like one of the things that I did, don't laugh at me, I love Delta Goodrum. Like, I love her. And so she is on the top of my list to get her on my podcast. I would love to interview her on my podcast. I don't know anybody who knows Delta, or so I thought. But then when I started talking about it and going, I love Delta, I want Delta on my show, someone emailed me and said, I know Delta's physio. And I'm like, what? Yes. And so it gets you that little way in. So the name gets dropped. It probably won't go anywhere from there, but I'm now on the radar. And so it's getting those connections in there as well. So that's what I would very much recommend. And then weighing up whether the publishing route is the best route for you or whether you're better to self-publish, because those two things are very different as well. Okay, so Claire has asked here, what is the biggest challenge you had with writing the book? Was it easier than the last? No. No, it was so much harder. My first book was my story, so my personal journey, and it rolled off. I was able to travel for that. And this is, I really find to write a book, you have to go into a different state. I admire people that are able to fit book writing into their life and go, you know what, at the start of every day, I'm just going to write for an hour and let the words stack up, because my brain just couldn't do it. I really have to go immersive and go, you know what, everything else is gone. All I'm going to focus on is writing a book right now. And so that's really the way that I had to do it. And with my first book, I booked a beautiful over the water hut in Fiji, and I went for 8 days, and I literally did nothing other than eat, type, get a massage, eat, sleep, repeat for 8 days. And so that was conducive to beautiful book writing. But this time we've been on lockdown for 11 million years. And so I wasn't able to do that. And so I had to find different ways to be able to do it. And so it was a lot harder because I was in the stagnation of home. And I like different environments for inspiration and stimulation. So it was a little bit harder to do that. It was also challenging in the way of, I wanted to make a super practical book. So I didn't want it to just be a story and inspiration and a lot of mindset stuff and have people go, okay, I'm really hyped up, but I don't know what to do. I wanted people to finish the book and go, okay, I'm really excited and hyped up, but I also have a blueprint and I know exactly what to do to make this a reality. And so the challenge was being able to make it really practical, but also entertaining. And so it's really hard to kind of write and then I'd judge it. I'd read it again and go, oh, that's boring. No, come on. And so your writing a book is very different. Like where I'm used to being is here. I am very used to being live video is my normal thing. And so it doesn't matter if it's clunky or imperfect or you say the wrong thing because it's kind of here then gone. It's not a lot of pressure. Whereas a book is here to stay. So there's a lot more pressure on there as well. But thank you for that question, Claire. That's amazing. Claire's writing her own book at the moment as well. So Kel said here, get a great book proposal together, study and understand the market and where your book fits in it. It's part great book idea and content, but also part platform, AKA sales. Yes. And I want to touch on this a little bit as well. Is so often your profile will influence whether a publisher says yes, because their whole goal is to just sell books. So it doesn't matter how good your content is if you don't have a marketing proposal and avenues to be able to sell that. So I actually, with my book proposal, submitted my whole marketing plan as well. And look, I market like nobody's business. Like I take online marketing pretty seriously and I'm very strategic with it. So it gave me a bit of a leg up as someone who is very unknown, because that was like the concern that the publishers had that was brought to me was we can't just put you into the US market because nobody knows who you are. So people will see your book and go like who is she? Like, why would I buy that? I don't know who she is. Celebrity does sell, unfortunately. So we had to do a whole lot of other alternative things and a lot of effortful marketing with that as well. So that's something to be conscious of, is going, you know, if you just want to be an unknown author, you won't get that publishing deal. You do have to be willing to build your personal brand and to step into that light and be able to let that shine in there as well. Okay, so let me see that. Svet says, is it too early to ask, but are you planning book number 3? Not anytime soon. Let me tell you that. But look, I would never say that it's my last book of my life. I highly doubt that. But no plans yet for book number 3. So Bridget's asking, how do you arrive at a price point? This is a constant dilemma for us. I want to aim high because we're offering great value, and my partner doesn't want us to price ourselves out of the market. Do you know what, Bridget? I think pricing is one of the most common questions that I get. And it is important because, you know, having an irresistible offer is what's going to determine the success of your program as well. So no pressure. In there. But pricing, what I can recommend is one of the success stories in my book is Denise Duffield Thomas, who has Money Bootcamp. She has a book called Chillpreneur and Get Rich Lucky Bitch, which is all about money mindset and pricing points. Because what happens is often what we if it's pricing is strategic as well. So what we're used to in traditional business is looking at pricing from the point of view of a money versus time thing. So you're exchanging money for the time input. So it's that kind of service or product exchange. Whereas when it comes to online, it's got nothing to do with how long it takes you. It's literally a money versus value thing. So you're saying, I will give you this result. This value is what I can give you. And this is what it costs to get that result, to solve that problem. So it's really looking at what is that problem worth to your customer, and then who do you want to aim for as well. So you could have the exact same product, and if you priced it at $97 or if you priced it at $997, you're going to get very different people buying that. And sometimes, you know, people will have the concern that you have is you don't want to price yourself out of the market. It depends which market you're going for. So a really easy one to use as an example is a Pilates instructor. Now, Pilates instructor, they're a dime a dozen. There are so many. Competition is fierce. A lot of people will think, okay, well, I need to play the pricing game to do well. Like, I'll just price as low as I can and just try and get massive volume. That would be a lot of people's inclination, but it's not the only way. It is not the way to go all the time. So you could price a Pilates thing at $9 a week and try and get that, but you're competing against YouTube, which is free. So instead, I would actually go premium pricing, specialize in something like Pilates for postnatal or prenatal or menopausal women or whatever it's going to be there, and niche down on that and give higher value. Because if you're giving higher value, you can charge higher prices. And often it's way easier to sell 10 people a $1,000 product than 100 people a $100 product to get the same result. So you want to really look at that, pick your market, and then price accordingly with what that they will pay for that value in there as well. Cherise asked, do you need a book proposal? Yes. Yes, you do. Yes, very much. So I will remind you as well, we'll draw again in 5 minutes. If you haven't gone in the draw and you want to go in the party draw, go to tinatower.com/party and you can go into that as well. Nick said, your book felt like having a conversation with you every page I read. Thank you. I had a lovely English lady post this morning too, and going, because she listens to the podcast. So she said like every page she could just hear my voice saying it in there as well. But thank you. I'm very glad that it sounded conversational. It's very hard to write conversationally, especially when you're not a natural writer in there as well. Thanks, Deb. Okay, I can see some Instagram questions here. So let me come down to this one as well. Okay, we've got Dr. Deb here. What should come first, the book or the course? Good question. I'm halfway through both and don't know which to concentrate on. Okay, I would say the course because it makes you money. So the course is quick. You can make a course, you can be live in the next couple of months, where if you're halfway through writing a book, it's a long process, long. That's the hardest part of me about book writing is like, who has the patience for that? And so I would take your course to market, definitely then continue writing your book, and then use the book to promote your programs, because a book is such an exceptional way to increase your trust and credibility. And you've probably all heard the saying before, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And once you write a book, it's something credible in the market that not everybody is willing to do, because writing a book takes a great personal, emotional, financial sacrifice. And so you're able to do that. But don't ever write a book to make money, because unless you're in like the top 0.1% of books, it doesn't make you any money, and it costs a lot to get a book out there, even with a publisher, unless you're like total like superstar celebrity person who's getting big book advances. Book writing and book publishing is very expensive. So I want you to be aware of that as well. So I would say do the course, make some money, and then use the book to build your profile through that as well, and have all the roads lead back to that. So we've got Savvy Chick Design here, says, will you do an audio version of the book? Absolutely. We've been in lockdown for 2 months and we're just waiting to go into the studio and be able to finish it. So yes, it's coming eventually. But yes, audio book is not available yet, unfortunately. You are welcome, Claire. I've pre-ordered the book. Thank you. I love it. Okay, let me go down here. Watching from Uganda, one of my favorite places ever. I love Uganda. Hello. Okay, love it. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. All right, any other questions that we've got going through, or we will, Jara, let me know if we're ready to spin the wheel again for the next one. And then if you think of any questions, you can pop them in the box, so that we can keep going on that as well. We've got a little bit of time for a few more questions in there. Oh, Jill, you're so inspiring. Thank you. I just can't wait to be back on the road again. I was talking to a friend of mine who's in Miami, and we'd planned a book launch there, and it's just, I just can't believe that we're not there, but we will be eventually. So my plan is to do in-person book launch tour in November in Australia and New Zealand, and then over to the US and Canada in April next year. So fingers crossed we can do that. Mel said, hi, Mel. What is your favorite thing about writing a book? You know what? I love books is my thing. Book writing is not easy. There's been so many times where I'm like, why did I do this? Because it's very scary. having something so permanent as well and not being able to make any changes to that. I mean, in online courses, you're able to re-record and go back in. So that's really frightening. It's also really frightening putting yourself out there for massive judgment for the world as well. It's kind of like the dream is for the book to reach as many people as possible, but at the same time, you're then open to judgment and criticism. So it's like, please don't hate me. So that's the hard part. But my favorite part is being able to make it accessible for so many people. So for me, like when I first started in business, I learned so much from books. I mean, this is my bookshelf over here. Like it's covered in books, and what you can learn for $20 is like next level incredible. And I think that they're really underrated in what how many books people buy and actually read. And so I wanted to contribute to that and go, I want to be able to give something of so much value that's so accessible, because my programs, my courses are not cheap. And so they require investment, whereas the book, everyone can buy a $20 book and have access to that information to get started, get some runs on the board, to make some money, to find this life. I mean, for me, going into online courses has been the biggest revelation of my life. I mean, I had traditional business for 14 years before I sold it, and I worked for every cent with that. Like every cent was hard earned and exchanged that time for money. And so when I started getting into online courses and going, wow, look how many people we can reach and how much value we can get and how scalable it was just like, I need to tell everybody about this. Everybody needs to know about this. And so that's my favorite thing about the book. So thank you for that. Okay, Stacey said here, watching from an apartment that I've hired to finish my online course. Well done. Yes, I have also in the past hired Airbnbs to film, because if you've got kids or other noise or backgrounds that you don't want to have filmed, like whenever I do a photo shoot, I always hire a house because I don't like to show the inside of my own house in there as well. We've got Linda Diggle. So for people that are watching on Facebook at the moment, earlier I mentioned my book coordinator for my first book. Here she is. This is Miss Linda Diggle here. So thank you so much. She says it's beautiful and practical. All right, let's spin that wheel and find the next competition winner. So this, you will win a one-on-one with me, a 30-minute coaching session about your course idea, and also a signed copy of the book and a swag pack in there as well. Now, I'm sorry, this is so unclassy how we do this, but let me let me get it in there. So I'll just refresh the page there. Okay, let me pop that in. All right, we've popped it in there. Look, you've even got the canvas screen and everything. Oh my gosh, Tina. Let me turn it around so you can see. Okay, we'll lean it down there. All right, now we can see. Okay, the winner is dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Let it spin. Whoop. We've got Sam. Congratulations, Sam. The business classroom. Excellent. So Jared will get in contact with you and be able to do that in there as well. Nick said a one-on-one with Tina is priceless. No, there's a price to it, Nick. I love you for that, though. Okay, so any other questions that you have before we wrap this up? I want to, let me get my phone out of the way there. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I know that, when we had to postpone the book launches, I was obviously gutted, but I know everyone's had to postpone and miss so many things in the last couple of years. So, it's just something that's binding us all together at the moment. And I was like, virtual's not, it sucks a little in terms of going, this is nothing like what we could do in person. But I appreciate you coming on and being able to celebrate with me, because writing a book is literally one of the biggest moments in your life if you go to write a book, and you only do it a few times. And it's something that, I'm so grateful that you're here for and have marked with me. So please let me know if you've got any other questions. Pop them in the comment section here. Great opportunity to be able to ask them. I always do lives like this, and then when I get off, I get like 20 people message me privately, which I won't answer. So if you want to get your questions answered, like, answer them now. Thank you so much, Roz. I love having you here, and I can't wait to travel with you as well. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Christy. Okay, so I do just want to finish, saying thank you. If you have a copy of the book, if you could take a photo with it and share it with me, I would be oh so grateful. And don't forget to get your free digital workbook from milliondollarmicrobusiness.com. It goes with the book and it's all free. So there's a ton of resources in there and worksheets to help you bring all of this to life. And then once you get to the end of that and you're ready to launch, I've got the best launch course for you possible. So you can see that on my website at tinatower.com. And I look forward to working with you so much. Oh, Dale says, I would love to know how you created that spinning wheel. So it is called, Jara, what's it called? Can you put it in Facebook? The Wheel of something. So what we do, okay, so I'll tell you the behind the scenes of what just happened there. So it is an app on your phone that you put in people's names. So I've got my beautiful assistant, Jara, is getting, when you fill in that form, she gets the notifications of all of those details. She's been putting them into the wheel and then records her phone and puts it onto a tile in Canva so that it pops up on my screen and then I can hit play. So like, it's not the most sophisticated automated program, but it is the best way we could think to be able to be interactive. Because I'm going, how with a virtual launch party do you make it fun and interactive and, you know, have some games and things? It's just, without drinking games, it's really hard. And I just realized I didn't get a glass of champagne. Oh, I should have done that too. I'll have to have one later. Oh, thanks, Jara. Jara's coming up as me. Wheelofnames.com for you, Dale. There we go. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for reading the book. Thank you for sharing it with your friends. I appreciate you so much, and hope that it lasts for many, many years and helps you be able to build that business of your dreams and absolutely make the impact in the world that the world needs you to have. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.